You get two types of text boxes. The first one is a PowerPoint placeholder. These are the ones that say, "Here's the title box for a divider slide," or "Here's the subtitle box." Click to edit. The second type of text boxes are the ones that you can insert to your slide by navigating to the Drawing function group under the Home tab and selecting the text box shape from the list of standard shapes. You can also insert a text box by navigating to the Insert tab and clicking on the text box function in the text function group. Let's point out the primary difference between text boxes and shapes. Let's insert a text box and populate it with some text. Next, insert a square right next to the text box, once again adding in some text. Right-click the text box. The Format Shape dialog box opens to the right of your slide. Click on the text options and then select the text box option. The parameters that you see here are the default settings for text boxes. Let's take a screen grab and add that screen grab to our slide. Next, right-click the shape. On the Format Shape dialog box to the right of the slide, click on the text options, and once again, select the text box option. The default parameters displayed are the standard parameters for shapes. Let's take another screen grab and add it to our slide so that we can compare the different parameters. As you can see, there are only two differences in the default parameters for shapes and text boxes. The first difference is vertical alignment, which is set to top for text boxes and middle for shapes. The second difference is that text boxes are set to resize shape to fit text, whereas shapes are set to do not autofit. To fully describe the difference, let's insert another text box and drag it right across our slide. As soon as we type something, you'll note that the text box's area resets according to what you are typing. A shape behaves differently when we attempt this. If we insert a shape that spans the height of the slide, and we start typing, the shape size will remain unchanged. What you can do is update these default parameters to your own values and then save your shape properties as the default properties, updating these default parameters. Doing this results in new default parameters for all shapes that you subsequently insert in your current presentation. It's important to note that updating the default values in this way are locally applied only. This means that these default values will only be used in your current PowerPoint presentation, and when you open a new presentation, all of the shape's parameters will revert back to their original default values. You need to distinguish between shapes that have fills and shapes that consist of lines only. For shapes with fills, you can set default values and attributes for the outlines as well as the fills. Adding any other shape that has a fill will result in the new shape adopting your updated default parameters. To set the default parameters for a line, insert a line and adjust appropriately line width and color. When you're happy, right-click on the line and select Set as Default Line. To set the parameters for a shape, insert a shape and adjust by editing the fill, the line type, the line thickness and the outline color. Right-hand click on the shape and click Set as Default Shape. When you insert a new shape, you'll see that your updated default parameters have been applied. While on the topic of inserting lines, there's one last feature that we want to point out: using linked lines continuously. When you want to create a process flow and you want to insert little arrows connecting one shape to the next, you normally add each arrow one at a time. PowerPoint has a neat trick to get around this. When you go to select your connector elbow from the Drawing function group on the Home tab, right-click on the selector elbow as opposed to normally clicking it and select Lock Drawing Mode. Your connector elbow will now stay active as you add connector elbows in between your different shapes. Once you are finished, click on the Connector Line function again to end the process, or simply hit your Escape key.